Hey, it's the Chief Bonnie with Board Games and RPGs coming to you with another Neuralink, the RPG, quote, having fun in the future, baby, end quote. Speaking of fun, I got on my boonie hat with the brand new shirt. I've been sporting some new shirts. This one's got that Vietnam Hueys coming in, and I don't know, napalm or something going on down below. Boom, boom. So, but I like them. I call it visual whimsy. So what we were going to be doing in this episode, just to wrap up for the last one, if you haven't seen it, please go watch it, comment, subscribe, like, all that kind of cool stuff. But the group got their first lead, and Gomer got a nickname, Puffball, and they met Detective Conrick. But what they've found is La Costa Co., the gang, who's been messing with Granny Ginny, have been in cahoots with XRT realtors. And Conrick, actually, hanging out at Connie's Coffee Palace, asked Gomer if he could do a little bit of research on it. Now, in this, there was a little tussle between Pato and Jonah. Ended up knocking him out. He had a big lump on his head, and I think that may come up at work, because we're going to start back at work. So Gomer comes in the next day of work. Nobody knows he's got these other adventures going on. As he comes in, he gets to work in his workstation. He works with all the robots that actually do the surgery for the Neuralink. He'd also picked out a new employee, Current Nolan III, who has all the right specifications. And I do believe he would be showing up this very day. So this could cause some complications for Gomer. So the first thing is, I want to see, we are at a chaos factor of 6. I'm going to leave it at that. That last scene was wild, got dangerous as all heck. We luckily had a random event that kind of triggered in Conrick showing up, but it made sense that he was kind of staking out XRT realtors himself, and hence, so were we. We also got to meet Marja. Marja, Jonas's lady friend is what he likes to say. Doesn't say girlfriend, says lady friend. So we're at work. Does Bernadine bring Current around right away? I think it's probably a near sure thing. So a near sure thing is a 95% chance. He was picked, and unless there's something weird, she's bringing him around. 2, yeah. That's an extreme yes. So not only, well, that means when Gomer shows up on time for work, I think Bernadine and Current Nolan III are already there, and they're already in his workspace, and he's a little uncomfortable with that. Yes, that's it. So they come in, and I think Bernadine knows Gomer's not late, but she takes a chance to jab at him. She goes, Gomer, look who showed up early for his first day of work. And Gomer said, of course, Nolan, we've never met, but looking at your resume, and then I believe there starts to be their own engineer, machine, mechanical language going on, and it's very clear to Current that Gomer was involved in the picking of him for the job, and they're simpatico to the point that Bernadine is a little put off. I mean, they're having like a little bro moment or something with their nerdy machines, and I guess she goes, well, you guys are already speaking a language I do not care to learn. And whoop, she's out. But that's interesting. I like it. All right, let's find out. We need to know more about Current, and then we'll move on to some of the other things that are going on. So first of all, we already know that the mood of this conversation is friendly. These guys are in the same kind of realm. But what is Current's bearing? Do I even need it? There's inquisitive, knowing, mysterious, prejudiced. I think we'll skip the bearing because you have scheming that's here. You have insane. I don't think that's a possibility. Well, let's roll for it. Let's just see. We can dump it if it's a total non-fit. So first thing is, so we're going for bearing 85. We'll cross-reference with 15. So 85 and 15 brings us over to, sure enough, we got to come right into the insane part. All right, well, we're going to roll with it. Insane. So insane in this case doesn't have to mean literally psychologically insane. I think it could be that his ability to work with these machines and pick up the concepts, Gomer's like, this is insane. It's like you're speaking the words before they come out of my mouth. All right, I like that. Okay, so Current, we're just going to call him Current, has crazy skills and actually gets along awesome with Gomer already. And I think Gomer would be like, you're supposed to be my replacement. And I think Current says, well, that doesn't sound nice at all. I think I could be, but working together, we might actually be able to get a ton of work done. This sounds exciting. And Gomer's like, I agree 100%. And they're past the replacement side of it. I think he's like, if you replace me, great. You might even be better than me. I think Gomer says that. You might even be better than me. He goes, you have more hands-on experience with this particular equipment. Gomer's like, true. So the focus, they're definitely friendly. They're kind of, they're playing mentally with each other here. I like it. 15 on the focus. What is his focus? History. Huh. Okay, so if his focus is history, he says, I've been wanting to, I think that's it. Gomer says, hey, when I was looking at your resume, you've got to be taking a pay cut coming from where you were to here. You have to be. And Current's like, oh, absolutely. If all I wanted was money, that was the job to keep. The problem was it was a bigger group. There was a lot of hands that were getting involved in the projects. And Gomer's like, I hate that. Just let me do my work. He's like, exactly. And you guys are making history here. You're making history. I like it. So Current's here for the more direct work access without all the hands in it, and they're making history. We'll call it less interference. Perfect. I'm liking Current. All right, so I think our focus is good. Do we even need verb and noun? No, we got enough. These guys get along well already. Gomer doesn't hold back. He's teaching as quickly and showing him stuff as fast as he can. He's sharing programs. He's sharing code. He's sharing tricks, specs, everything he can. It's just a download dump, and Current is taking it. And they get along dang near like best friends. I would imagine Gomer even thinks two things. One, wouldn't it be cool if he had a Neuralink? We could talk even faster, yes. But two, I think he realizes, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep this secret, especially with me planning to do the visual cortex upgrade. This is all thoughts inside Gomer's head. So I like it. Let me add a couple caveats. It would be great if Current was also out of Neuralink. And he makes a note. Gomer's making history. So Current. Interesting. So that's in play. I like it. That's in play for the future. We've got maybe another potential crew. So they work swimmingly throughout the day. Bernadine doesn't even pop her head, and maybe she pops in and hears mumbo jumbo, excitement, nerd laughter, and she's just like, okay, well, that looks like it's going to work. At least now she's got two experts in the area, or will soon. The day passes, and I think as we get into late afternoon, Gomer spots Jonah. And Jonah's got a hell of a goose egg on the back of his head. We know he had a shaved head. I think he's got a Band-Aid on it. Those knuckles would have broke the skin. Maybe it's even a bigger Band-Aid, and it's swollen. And he looks unhappy. I'm sure he's in pain. As 5 o'clock hits, Current leaves. Gomer says he's staying around a little bit, and I think Current sees him go over and talk to Jonah and just sees them having a conversation. So first of all, guys, I've worked around, meaning you've got high tech and you've got more worker bees or even blue collar. Sometimes they are in their own little spheres or worlds, but sometimes the things will cross, like gaming. Whether it's through board gaming or RPGs or even video games, I've ended up making great friends in all kinds of different disciplines. So I could see that being just the age difference maybe is curious. But off Current goes. It's his first day, went well. He's super excited. I think Gomer brings out a couple aspirin. He doesn't like ibuprofen. And he gives it to, or no, it's reversed. We know Jonas was the one that actually was helping out. So Jonas is taking some aspirin and getting rid of his headache. I forgot about, episode 2 there. I think right off the bat, Gomer says, I'm going to put in a second Neuralink. And Jonah's like, what? He's like, when we were out there, I felt weak and exposed. He's like, you were weak and exposed. He's like, I know, but I felt it. He's like, of course you did. You're not stupid. Matter of fact, you're pretty darn smart. He goes, well, that's why I want a second one. He goes, what's the second one do that the first one don't? And he's like, I want one for my visual cortex. He's like, what does that mean? He's like, well, the one allows me to converse and chat with Grok 4 and do some other things, many, many other things. But if I can tie into the visual cortex, I'll be able to see on a wide spectrum, things that no human can see. And I want a HUD. He's like, a HUD? What's a HUD? Heads-up display. He's like, a heads-up display? He's like, yeah, like the video games. You can get everything from how much ammo you got, what direction you're going to, built-in overseen maps. He goes, how much ammo you've got? You don't even have any guns. He's like, well, true. He's like, dude, the infection you got last time, you missed 2 weeks of work. I don't know if you can afford to do it again, especially who's this cat that's in here? He goes, oh, that's Current. He's great. He goes, he's your replacement. Yeah, that's fine. He's good. He goes, this place is growing fast. They're going to need both of us. He goes, not if you get fired. Hello? All right, I think Gomer's like, well, you got a point. Will you help me? He's like, help you with what? How can I help you with putting a Neuralink in? He's like, my place is a mess. He's like, hold on. You want me to come clean your apartment? And I think he says, what the? He's like, well, not necessarily like that, but I guess, yeah. If it's clean, maybe I wouldn't get the infection. He goes, dude, I'm not cleaning your apartment. But are you not aware of the surgical mobile suite they're working on? He goes, no, not my department. He goes, dude, it's like a inflatable clean room. He's like, huh? You inflate it, it overpressurizes. It's already been like sanitized on the inside of it. As long as you clean yourself and you go in and the machine's clean, your environment should be way less likely to lead to the infection. I've seen them work on these. They look great. And it makes my job easier. Can you give me one? He's like, dude, it's big. It's like a suitcase thing. It is portable, but it's still big. He goes, where is it? Oh. He's like, all right, you're really going to do this? He's like, I have to do this. I wasn't good enough out there. He goes, well, that's your thing. You don't ever think you're good enough out there. You did fine. He goes, I sat in a car and you about got killed. If Detective Conrick hadn't come along, we might have all been killed. That guy was going to shoot us. He goes, Pato wasn't going to shoot you. He's just trying to scare the shit out of you. He goes, well, it worked. It worked. All right. Jonas is like, fine. We can't use a scooter, though. It's too big. And Gomer's like, call Marja. She was nice. He's like, dude, you got to pay for her gas. He's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Perfect. Marja's in. Marja's back. All right, so the question is, I wasn't sure how all that was going to go down. I don't think it's in a protected area. Jonah has access. This is theft, but it's theft for a good reason. They're helping out Grandma Jenny. And it's not theft unless they don't bring it back. Bingo. Jonah will bring it back. Yeah. So he's like, I'm all involved because it's got to come back with me tomorrow. It's like, deal. I like it. Any problems getting it? I don't think so. But I want to see, is there, I think it's got to be a near sure thing, which is 95%. 95% on a near sure thing that there's no problems with this at all. I mean, there could be a security guard. 64, yeah. He's got full access. Nobody would even think that you're going to steal one of these compartmentalized surgical suites that is a air blow up thing. And I think there's even two parts to it. You probably got the plastic thing that inflates, and then you probably got another suitcase deal that's the electric motor that plugs in that does the inflating. He grabs both of them, puts them on a cart. He gets hold of Marja. She comes down, loaded in, Gomer's in, and I would imagine Marja's going to take Gomer home with the equipment to get it set up. Quite honestly, Jonah's got to finish his work. And he would. Work is finished, and he shows back up. So this thing inflates. You maintain it's sterile within. And the filter system on the inflation motor is, HEPA filtered and everything. So the air coming in is fine. The problem, as Jonah gets there, is the machines. Gomer's got plenty of machines around here. And the Neuralink is in its own sterile, secure, housing. Jonah says, all right, you need to go take a shower. Reshave your head. Get clean. I'm going to clean. Which machine are you using? Because I'm going to clean it and sterilize it. And then once you're clean, you'll move it in. And I'm going to clean the outside of the housing. Jonah takes care of this, gets him as clean as he can possibly clean. The surgical suite is inflated, overpressurized, so no germs should be coming in. It should only be leaking HEPA-filtered air. I think Marja is intrigued and watching. And I think Jonah takes his shower and says, hey, I think Marja's got to leave. And she's like, why? He's like, I'm naked. She's like, really? He's like, yeah. Jonah said, don't put any clothes on because it'd be dirty. And he said to shower and clean and then to go in. He goes, yes, Marja's seen naked before. Come on out, Gomer. He's like, oh, man. And she goes, come on, puffball. Ain't nothing I ain't seen before. Perfect. I don't need to roll for it. He comes out. I think he's got to be covering himself. And I think she says, boy, you are a bit of a puffball. And I think Jonas says, go easy on him, Marja. Go easy on him. This is difficult for him. That would be embarrassing as hell. He's like, yeah, come on. Come on. It's cold in here. Jonah told me to put the temperature down. Yes, you don't want to get too hot. Seinfeld shrinkage, that's all I'm saying. So everything's been prepped. He goes in. I think he wheels the machine in himself, gets it set up. There's a table that's set up that's part of it. I'm sure it's all built in to hold and level and inflate, whatever. State of the art. He positions himself. The machine positions for where the visual cortex portion would be. And then Mars is like, oh, I don't think I can watch any more of this. I'm picturing that the surgical suite is like clear plastic, overpressured. She's like, he's really going to drill into a skull? And he's like, oh yeah, second time. And she's like, Puffball, you're nuts. And he's like, what? I can't hear you with the fan. And Gomer's like, let him be. Jonah's like, let him be. All right. The main deal is the machine does all the work. I think the question is, does he pick up an infection this time as well? We are at a bigger chance of a yes, but I think with the surgical suite, with the cleaning, with him taking a bath, with him having someone actually supervise, the idea that he did this in the room without all of this, there's still got to be a chance. I think it's no way, but that's still 25% chance he picks up an infection with the second Neuralink. So he does it. There's not going to be a problem. The machine, he's worked on it, it's good, but 25% infection set in. 55, no, but that is doubles. There will be a random event here. So here we go again. There'll be no infection. The clean room worked perfect. Before we move on, though, sounds like there could be a complication. Let's see, what is the event focus? 50 even. 50 even is move away from a thread. Wow. Well, we only have 3 threads on here. I've got continued impairment. I don't know what that is. We've got the plotting supervisor. That's Bernadine, who's trying to get rid of him. And XRT realtor. Well, that's like the main thing we're working on right now. And he's supposed to do some work on that even later today. So, but I guess it's 1, 2, 3. Let's see what it is. So 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It means it's going to be the second one, which is the plotting supervisor. All right, well, we're moving away from a thread. Bernadine Smith must be thrilled with the amount of work and training that came from both Gomer and Current on his first day. So that is gone as a thread. Bernadine is thrilled. She's still on the list as a character, but she's no longer plotting against Gomer. Okay. Random event. Good. I think she was probably watching to see how Gomer was going to handle Current, getting him involved with picking, even though it was his own replacement, and his reasoning for who he picked. She seems like a great supervisor. I like it. Moving away from that thread. All right. That visual cortex, he hasn't been able to load anything up. The Neuralink is in. He did not get an infection. I think he's even taken a couple antibiotics. I don't know why I said it weird. But he's not going to catch an infection on this. It's going to be tender. And now he's got 2 holes in his head. Ugh, that seems like the dangerous part to me. You got 2 holes in your skull. Yuck. But I think while he's even laying there, perfectly still, getting the surgery, he's got Grok 4 and his mind working on the XRT problem. I like it. So, on that note, what did he find out? I don't know what logically he would have found out about XRT. So we know there's another company behind it. It's like a shell company. So we have 4. We're going to find out. We have fight. Okay. We can roll 3 different sets of 2 on this. So 22. Doubles don't matter on this back page. Fight energy. I know from generating this particular scheme that a company called Strongcrete Sciences is actually behind hiring XRT, and their plan is to buy up that whole block and build the Strongcrete, which is this self-healing concrete. So Fight Energy, that definitely sounds like he's going to get some tips on Strongcrete. But let's find out. 97 is Transform. Transform what? 81. 81 is Victory. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Fight Energy, Transform. He, working with Grok 4, is working at very rapid speed, and they're seeing correlation between employees working for XRT that had also worked for or connected to Strongcrete Sciences. So Grok 4 picks up on that trend that there's a way higher than normal percentage of employees that are cross-employed. or have worked for Strongcrete Sciences in the past. And it's only like correlation, but it's definitely something that allows them to zero in, and they start to gather information on Strongcrete Sciences as well. So Strongcrete's name is now in the mix. So all of this research work is going on between Gomer and Grok 4 while his visual cortex is being enhanced with his second Neuralink. The 16 threads, I believe it's 16, are being placed inside his brain. The brain scans so that vessels are missed. And this newer version, as the individual threads come in, they also have the option of extending extra threads. 2 extra threads are at the tip of each one of the main threads, and these are even smaller and thinner. They're kind of like able to telescope out and create what almost looks visually or on a computer like a spider web, again, that is just able to get very close to the individual neurons. And both the regular thread and the extension threads have little friction hooks on them. Nothing that would do damage, but they hold the thread a little bit more in place. And each of these threads has a little bit of an elastic flexibility to them so that nothing breaks and nothing retracts as the brain pulses and moves. So the research has been done. Strongcrete Sciences has a network of shared employees that work for XRT Realtor or have worked for them in the past and are on XRT's payroll, but have also had some business connections with Strongcrete. Strong enough that the company Strongcrete came to the forefront that their business interactions are extremely well linked. And I think we're either going to have to do some more XRT information, but at least this is good information where they can go back in a future episode to Connie's Coffee Palace and meet with Detective Paul Conrick and at least share that Strongcrete Sciences appears to possibly be planning on a brand new project with their brand new Strongcrete, which is a self-healing concrete. They're a megacorp. And their plan is to transform cities so that the cities always look new. Always look new with Strongcrete Sciences. Always look new with Strongcrete Sciences. That's actually kind of catchy. So we will come back with future episodes and we'll find out what a visual cortex Neuralink does. And I think after the close call that Jonah had and him seeing this process, he's thinking this might come in handy for him as well. This went beautifully with this equipment. One last check. Is Jonah able to get the 2 suitcases for the clean environment back? I would imagine having been used, it's just got to show that it was used because it's no longer sterile. But any problems getting it back at all, I'm assuming no way again. He's got full access. He comes in, he brings things, but it's 25% chance. Ooh, 16. When we come back, someone's going to be asking why he has these. A note made. There is a problem in bringing those back. Interesting.